Hi. As is always the case at this time of year, I'm far too busy or too tired to write blog updates. So instead, what I do is try to squeeze in a video to show you the progress that's happening at the plot and here at home. So we'll start off with a tour around the greenhouse. So here we are. Despite the atrocious weather this year, the greenhouse is everything's growing in the greenhouse. However, you will see that there are very few red tomatoes. One or two are starting to come red now, but really, in terms of ripening, it has been absolutely atrocious. Here we have a bunch of tomatoes. If you can see that, fantastic. Last year I really made a mess of the tomatoes and overfed them, and as a consequence I got next to nothing. This year I've learnt my lesson, and I've got a fantastic crop of tomatoes. Tomatoes everywhere. However, they're extremely slow to ripen, and I'm very worried that before too long they might start to rot and drop off. I haven't grown any cucumbers this year, just again they were unsuccessful last year, plus the fact, to be honest, they didn't really taste much different to the shop bought ones, so I wasn't really all that bothered. Two types of tomatoes. These ones, the large beef steak tomatoes. Here's one that's actually turning red. It's called Brandywine. Never grown them before. Absolutely huge beasts. I have no idea whether they taste. This one's a cracker, bigger than my hand. Whether they taste any good, but I'll soon find out. On the other side, it's Moneymaker, a regular crop for me. Sort of medium-sized tomato. There's one that's starting to go red at long last, and they've done very well. So hopefully the weather is improving a little bit. Hopefully it'll start to ripen, in which case I will have a glut, and I'll have to start thinking about making tomato sauces for pasta, and maybe make a chutney or something like that. We'll have to wait and see. Here on the rack are my onions drying out. Onions have done well actually, despite the weather. These have been grown down at the allotment. That's about maybe a third of my total onion crop. So they're drying out, and hopefully I'll string them up within the next couple of days. Just below that are a couple of, maybe can't see them too well, I was given a couple of pepper plants from a woman at the allotment, and they're growing quite well. They've flowered. There's another flower. There'll be another flower. So I'm just waiting for the fruit to come. I've grown peppers before, but it's never been particularly successful. But we'll see how it goes this year. These ones look pretty good. Above here on the, don't know if you can see it too well. These are the chilies. Very slow again this year, but they are flowering now. Normally they're in bigger pots than this by this time, but in fact they should be in these pots. But they're coming on, so hopefully they do take a long time to grow. So hopefully we'll get some crops from that. The new project for this year was I planted a grapevine. Now, the way to do a grapevine normally is you plant it outside the greenhouse with the roots outside. You make a hole in the wall of the greenhouse, which I've done, and you thread it through the hole. So outside there's plenty of room for the roots to grow, and inside it gets the benefit, the growing plant gets the benefit of the heat of the greenhouse. When I got it, it was about 3 feet high, and I planted it, and it's taken off, and it's now grown all the way up here and all the way along the roof. and all the way along here, and it's come to here, which I would say it's perhaps grown 8 feet, maybe 6 to 8 feet this year alone. Now what I have to do at the end of this year is cut it almost right back to back to where it started, because if you're not harsh and you're not ruthless with cutting back a grapevine, it will not produce much in the way of fruit. So I've got to do that later on when the autumn's over. So, summarise, plenty of growth in the greenhouse, looking quite lush, looking very green, but could do with being a few more red tomatoes, but hopefully that's going to rectify itself in the next couple of weeks.